Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay here. And this is what I'm calling a Big Brother heat check. Um, Started watching Big Brother. I think I did one or two reviews of the earlier episodes. And it was moving slow. There was a lot going on pretty much. And I was waiting for the game to really get going, to get into it. You know, um, to really get to learn some of the characters and whatnot so that I could speak a little bit more informed about it. Also, this is where it's starting to, as you know, we're on season 27, just finished episode 24. So I'm going to give a brief little catch up as to how, where we got to this point. So, you got a lot of people in the house. You got the Vinny of the house. You got Keanu, who first going from being a big target, with just his gameplay, competitions, things like that, to now he's kind of being a little bit more subdued and whatnot, trying to play more of the social game, it seems. You got Ava, who's floating a little bit, had her head of household. Kelly, who was a very strong competitor early on, not the best social game, but, continues to be a threat as far as competitions. You have Riley, who just left, which put Catherine on the assault because, they're in like a showmance or whatnot. You got Rachel being Rachel. Hasn't really won any competition. That said, she has had her head of household, which her head of household ended up leading to Riley's being evicted from the household. You got Vinny, who has probably been playing one of the most convoluted games socially all around. Getting himself in all sorts of alliances left and right. So, yeah, I believe he has two final twos, one with Lauren, one with Kelly. He's building a relationship with Keanu. He's just all over the place, really. Mickey has shown herself to be a strong player, social-wise and competition-wise. She's pulled herself off the block a couple of times and whatnot. Had her head of household, tried to make some powerful moves. You got Morgan, who I see as a floater, but she's, does her social game. Will is floating along, hasn't won anything, but, him and Ashley, they're kind of the same to me. They haven't won anything, no competitions, haven't had a head of household, no vetoes, anything like that, but, they stick around pretty much. I believe that's just about everybody there. It's down to, I believe there's 3 men left in the house, and now it's 5 women, I believe. So let's get into it. Episode 24. This episode, Vinny was the head of household. He, had 3 nominations to put up. There was a lot of a push for him to try to put up Mickey and Rachel, or to put up Mickey and find a way to try to backdoor Rachel. So essentially, what ended up happening, prior to this, in the midst of this episode, prior to this, they had a veto competition, which Mickey ended up winning. She actually won it. It came down to her and Vinny. She ended up winning. Takes herself off the block. So now Vinny has to put up a replacement. People are wanting him to put up Rachel. Rachel and Vinny is in an alliance. I believe they're called the Judges, with Rachel, Morgan, Ashley, Will, and Vinny, I believe it is. So Vinny being Vinny, not really having a backbone, he doesn't put up Rachel. He puts up Kelly instead, who he had a final 2 with and that he was really close with. So that goes on. And it's, somehow Catherine got up there, actually. Yes. Instead of, it was actually, my apologies, I messed up there. It was actually Kelly, Ava, and Mickey up there. Kelly took herself off, and instead of using Rachel to replace Kelly, they used, Vinny decided to use Catherine because, he doesn't really have a backbone in the game. And also Catherine probably would have been gunning for him because it was his head of household that got Riley evicted, essentially. So then that ended up happening. They have the Big Brother blockbuster, and of course Kelly, being Kelly, gets herself off. She is a very strong competitor. Now, the game was pretty easy, but it doesn't matter. She put herself off. She's there to fight another day. So when it comes down to it, it's Ava and Catherine on the block. And I believe in a vote of 7-1, Catherine goes home. And Catherine was the last person to be evicted before now they're going to have the juror's house. So everybody gets evicted from now on, goes to the juror's house. Which that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the heat check now, because now I'll be going on and doing regular reviews of it, because now is when it gets a little dicey. But in the midst of this episode, you had Vinny, who's kind of back and forth between Keanu and Rachel, and now you're starting to see that balance or that struggle of power with them two. Mickey, who was a strong player, is still just kind of floating in the background now. Kelly, I feel, needs to make some game adjustments. She needs to find somebody to align with, because she is a strong competitor. And I think if she were to align herself, make a new final tool, somebody that has like a good social game, could go far for her. Actually, I think if Kelly was smart, she would align herself with Will quietly, because Will is in the midst of just about everything. He's not necessarily a strong competitor, at least we haven't seen it. I don't know if he's just trying to be a floater or he's playing coy, but I think that would be a good, a possibly good follow to her. I can't stand Ashley. I hope she's gone next week, to be perfectly honest with you. But it looks like Rachel and Keanu's issues are going to heat up a little bit, as they should. It's to the point where now you're going to start to, butt heads with people. So looking forward to that. Vinny is not the head of household no more, obviously. They're going to have that head of household coming up. So we're going to see where this goes from here on out. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what transpires now that we're to the point where we're going to have the juror house. And now this social game is going to start to ramp up a little bit. Also, this Hotel Missouri thing, I forget what the character, the guy with the red mask, he's supposed to pop up in the next episode. I really feel like the theme for this season has just been that, coupled with the fact of the show just seems so much, I don't know, it's missing. Like, I remember, Big Brother used to have such an emphasis on the have and the have-nots. The competitions used to be a lot better designed by some of the little special things where you could get those special powers or the trips or things like that. They were more of a focus. It broke up the monotony. I guess they're trying to show more of the social game to things, but it's a lot of dead space. And I think that's what bored me initially with this, because there are just a lot more going on. Food competitions that they used to have and, things of that nature that they're just not having. I didn't even know that they were eating slop until they stated that they were eating slop because of the have-nots. The whole, it just seems very discountish, very knockoff-ish, I really hope they fix it. Hopefully their views have gone up, hopefully, or this meandered so that they feel that they have to kind of push some things. But I think that's one of the things that kind of, now I watched it, I just didn't review it. But I think that's one of the things that just kind of bored me. Going, previously about the season. So hopefully it picks up here. I still don't necessarily have a favorite to win the game yet. I'm really torn in so many ways. I think Kelly has a chance. I think Ava has a good chance. I think Mickey, if she plays it the right way, she could, but I'm not necessarily sure. I could see somebody like Morgan actually coming out on top and things. So, we'll see. Like I said, now is when the game's going to get good, I personally feel. So we'll see. But, that was episode 27. Oh, no, that was episode 24 of season 27 of Big Brother. Like I said, you're going to start to see these a little bit more regularly now that we're getting into the thick of things. So, I don't know. Hop down below. Let me know what you think. Who you think may win. What do you think about some of these alliances? Do you think if Vinny is just making himself seem like an easy target so that he sticks around long, that is a strategy and whatnot? I don't know. Let me know what you think. But it's Jay here, and I'll see you in a few for another Big Brother episode.